okay? So what I'm seeing first of all here in this card is the Ten of Wands, and this is basically carrying the burden, okay, carrying the load, being I feel like stretched so thin where you have a lot of responsibilities on your plate. You're able to handle it. I mean, you know, comparatively, the bundle is very manageable for this mouse, but the mouse can also I got like a little bit of resentfulness, like resentment with this mouse. It's like, why isn't anybody doing it? Why just me? Why am I carrying the burden? So I feel like it's going to be a very, very busy month. People might renege on their responsibilities, and then you have to carry their load as well. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Learn to be patient and anticipate that, you know, a lot of the times you might have to step in to take care of a situation that you might not have intended. Okay. So when I was shuffling out the spread for you, I saw two scenes, and I really honestly cannot make it out. Like I can't find meanings in the scene. So the first one was I see this really, really thin and elderly woman. She's walking her dog. Her dog looks like a beagle. She's dressed really, really nicely. She's wearing a pencil skirt, like slight high heels. She's very elderly, but she's, you know, walking tall and proud, okay? So she looks to me like she might be in her 70s or 80s, but she's like not hunched over. She's walking, she's wearing heels, she's dressed really nicely. She has a dog that is, she's walking. She has like newspaper in one hand, a cup of coffee, like a paper cup of coffee in the right hand, newspaper tucked under left arm, and she's walking like in a really strong gaze, like she has somewhere to be, and she's dressed really well. She goes to the ballet, and then she, like, that's kind of like what she does every weekend, I feel, because this woman seems like she's retired. And so she goes to the ballet, front row seats. Everyone knows her name. She has her own little box. And she watches little children perform ballet, and like little girls, you know, they come out in their frilly dresses, and then they do their routine, and then other people come in, do different performances. So she likes the theater. She likes the ballet. And I feel almost like she might have been a ballerina in her youth. But I'm also sensing, like, you know, because she's elderly, okay, I'm seeing a lot of wrinkles, a lot of frown lines, and a lot of sharp angles to her face. So I feel almost like she's trying to relive her youth. Okay, she's trying to capture her youth. She's trying to kind of like recreate that moment, that youthfulness, that moment of when she was carefree, that, you know, that nostalgia for the past, or the nostalgia for, you know, wanting to be young again. That's what it feels like to me. And then the second image was, I see like dotted lines, okay? You know how when you get like something custom made, so for example, a suit, the tailor would draw like dotted lines on a suit and then would cut, right? So I'm seeing dotted lines on black cloth, and then someone draws the line, and then someone comes in with scissors. And then right after that, I saw like dotted lines on human flesh, okay? Kind of like plastic surgery, okay? That's what it feels like to me. Like, I don't see any cutting though, thank God. But I saw like pen marks, dotted lines on like somebody's tummy. There's like a belly button in somebody's tummy. So somebody might be wanting to lose weight, might be wanting to do like a tummy reduction or something like that. And then I'm also seeing it on someone's face, like wanting to get a lift. So things like that, okay? So the imagery with the woman and then also the dotted line, I guess, all together, they remind me of, you know, your sense of mortality, okay? So I feel for many of you, and I guess the images make sense now that I had time to kind of relay the messages and the images to you. I feel like for many of you, you might be a little bit concerned about the way you look. Am I pretty enough? Am I thin enough? Am I muscular enough? Is my hair voluptuous enough? Are my lips thick enough? Do I have wrinkles? I feel like, you know, body image might be coming out, okay? For some of you, I feel like you are taking steps to remedy the imperfections about your body. So for example, I do feel for many of you, you're lifting weight, you're going to the gym, you're eating right, and you're trying your very hardest to, it's not about cheating, okay? It's like putting in the hard work in order to get the results that we want, okay? But let's be honest, Sagittarius, a lot of us, I have a Sagittarius moon, I understand, we're a little bit impatient, okay? And we like to cut corners whenever we can without compromising the end result, or without compromising the quality. We do like to cut corners. We tend to get a little bit impatient. And so many of you might have been working really, really hard, waking up very early to go to the gym, wanting quick results, okay? And even thinking about, potentially like, oh, let's do a tummy tuck, let's do like an eye lift, let's cut corners, or let's cheat and take the faster way out, okay, and the faster way to get results, okay? So for many of you, it is as drastic as wanting to change the way you look, wanting to look healthier, wanting to, put in the work to get the results, physical results that you want. Others of you might be looking in the mirror and you're thinking like, am I still attractive? Do I still look nice? Are these frown lines showing? Do I have more wrinkles on my face? Do I have more moles? Do I have more freckles? So I feel like there's something about the way that you look that you might be a little bit insecure about, okay? Or for many of you, there's a pressure, okay? Pressure from your environment, pressure from your job to look a certain way, okay? So, in the movie modeling business, there's also a lot of that, like comparing ourselves to other people. Or even like, in order to land a job, we have to look a certain way, okay? We have to be of a certain body type. We have to dress a certain way. We have to talk a certain way. And so there's a lot of like external expectations. And I feel for many of you in the past, you might have, frowned upon this, because I feel like you guys are very authentic and you don't really judge people by the way that they look. And so for you to encounter this or to see this in real life, I feel like it's disheartening for you. Okay. But I do feel like a lot of it is internal though, where you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're just like, fixated on something about you that you feel is not perfect, okay? You're fixated on it. And for many of you, you're trying to find solutions to make that imperfection go away, or to diminish it, or to lessen it. And for many of you, I feel like you're not cheating. You're not taking the shortcut out. You're putting in the hard work, hitting the gym, doing things to clear up this imperfection. It could even be like, like having clear skin and washing your face and using the right cleansers and even going to see a dermatologist. But you're definitely taking the steps in order to fix things, okay? Which I feel in the grand scheme of things, it is healthy and it is the right way to go, okay? So I feel like you see something, you don't like it, and you want to fix it, okay? I do feel a certain pressure to look a certain way, to act a certain way. And I do feel as well that you're not really enjoying it, okay? You want to be you want to be authentic. And you feel like any type of an infringement upon your rights, the way you express yourself is a violation. That's how you feel. And I feel like you're not really going to tolerate it, okay? And then I'm also feeling as well, for many of you, what I'm seeing here is a little bit of a continuation of last month. And last month, I remember specifically that it was very relationship oriented. This month, we're steering away from that, but I do feel like a similar energy coming through. So keep in mind, I'm still doing this I'm doing this video in the month of February, and today is February 11th. So what I'm seeing is there is a situation here where you're putting in a lot of work, okay? For many of you, I feel like there's a little bit of resentment coming through from your end, okay? And I'm drawn here to this 10 of Wands and 7 of Cups here. Okay, so, Sagittarius, we are very, very gung-ho about things. When we do something, we jump all in, we dive in, okay? We don't mind like getting our hands dirty. We just like, if we're gonna do it, we go in all the way. We don't half-ass things. And I feel like you're the person that is always willing to help other people. And you're the person that, once again, you work really fast. You finish your responsibilities, you finish your things, and you offer other people, you offer yourself, your assistance, a helping hand to other people. And then I feel like once you offer, you help them with their responsibilities. But if the shoe were on the other foot, if they have the free time, they don't offer to help you. Okay? And so I feel like you want to take a look around and to really think about, where you're expending your energy, who you're helping, and whether or not helping them over and over and over again is a big burden on you. Okay? So I feel like there's a situation here where you helping someone allows them to coast. And then when you're in a jam, you have to do it on your own, and they don't offer the same assistance. Okay, so it's not very reciprocal. And I feel like this is an ongoing thing. And I feel for many of you, this isn't a work situation. It's an ongoing thing where you end up bearing the brunt of the burden. Okay, so it's like you're here working very diligently, the pack rat, like carrying this burden, and the other person is just sitting there looking pretty, feeling that sense of entitlement, like, oh, I don't need to lift a finger. The Sagittarius person will do it. The Sagittarius person will come to my rescue, or the Sagittarius person will offer their assistance. And so I feel like you're starting to see this pattern, and you're starting to see how this might not be fair, how this might not be favorable to you. And you're also starting to see how you do it out of the kindness of your heart. But when you're in a jam, this person is not as willing to put in the work to help you. And so I feel like, this might be a little bit of an eye-opening thing. You might have been, for whatever reason, you might not have seen this person in this type of a light in the past, but now the spotlight is shown on this and you're starting to see it. What we have here is the moon, and the moon indicates confusion. It's a very, very muddled energy. We don't have all the evidence, we don't have all the proof, but we do have our intuition that is telling us about the situation. It's telling us the story, and it's telling us about, some of the things that could be clouded, or how our judgment could be clouded, how we're seeing whatever it is that we're seeing might not be the true reality of a situation. So that's what I'm sensing here. I feel like you do help a lot of people, and I feel that you're starting to see how it disincentivizes them from working hard, from doing their fair share of the work when you're always the one stepping up. Does that make sense? Okay, so I feel like it's not about telling you to step down, but I feel that you need to be a little bit careful about where you expend your energy and to whom you give your energy. Okay? I also feel for many of you, you're dealing with a relationship partner, and it's also echoing the same type of energy. The relationship partner here is the Seven of Cups, okay? This is somebody who gets distracted easily, and this is somebody who has a million things that they're dabbling in, okay? They could be, full of options, full of choices, quite possibly very, very indecisive, okay? They're scattering their energies, scattering their tentacles far and wide, and I feel like their energy is not focused. It's not directed the way that yours is. You get things done. This person leaves so many things unfinished. Okay, and when you're dealing with this person, it seems like they, for whatever reason, can't take care of the mundane things, the everyday things, the practical responsibilities. And so you have to also step in and take over the situation. I'm seeing somebody who's very artistic, artistic, not autistic, like very artistic, crafty. I'm also seeing somebody who's like a dreamer, like they're like hopelessly romantic. They're always reading, always drawing, always listening to music. Their head is not in the real world. They could be a little bit spacey. They could be a little bit like clumsy, a little bit ditzy, a little bit absent-minded. And I feel like it's a little bit frustrating when you're dealing with this person because like they leave everything a mess and you might have to clean it up. For some of you, this could be a child. For others, it could be a partner. For others, it could be like coworkers where they constantly leave things lying around unfinished. You're stumbling into all the things that they kind of like left astray. And so I feel like it's frustrating having to deal with this, having to share space with this person. And I feel like you're growing a little bit impatient with this person and you're wondering why they can't get themselves grounded. Okay. So I do see this, energy coming in where I feel like you might be like, frustrated with the way in which other people do their work. You don't understand why it takes so much time. You also don't understand why they're so like spacey, why they're so forgetful, why. So I feel like yeah, it's a little bit of a cause for frustration for the month of March. Okay. It's not the end all and it's not the end all. So I feel like, these are minor in the greater scheme of things. These are minor frustration. And so giving this person checklists, to-do lists, give them a deadline, tell them, for example, Monday, you need to do this. Tuesday, you need to do this. Wednesday, you need to do this, and so on and so forth. Give them checklists as well as deadlines in which you want some things done by. And I feel like that's really going to help alleviate some of that frustration because it puts the responsibility on them. And I feel like, they're naturally not very organized to begin with. And this will kind of like force them to be a little bit more organized and a little bit more courteous and conscientious towards you. Okay. So that's the first 4 cards. And I feel like, this is going to be like dotting the landscape as we progress through the month of March. You have a lot of things on your plate. And you're already very busy, so watch your temper. Be careful that the frustration doesn't get out of hand. Be careful that you don't, get upset and angry and say things that you don't mean. And so just be mindful of that, okay? Okay, so this is going to be especially like prominent in the first week of March. And the first week of March is also Mercury retrograde. So be very, very careful about, planning in general. The logistics and the planning aspect of things just will not go smoothly, okay? And so just take it with a grain of salt. Be easygoing and, plan for delay, anticipate delay. Okay. There's nothing we can do about it. We can get mad. We can, throw a tantrum. It doesn't really change anything. And so conserve your energy. Okay. Conserve your energy. Focus on the things that actually matter that you can change rather than on the little tidbits and the frustrations. Okay.